the city of Easton, Pennsylvania, has gone against the people and voted to keep marijuana criminalized. This is Severin Freeman, and this is a Freedom Paradox Special Report. Despite widespread support throughout the district and throughout the county, the city of Easton has decided to snub their nose at the people once again by keeping the criminalization of small amounts of cannabis a criminal offense. Earlier this month, a city council member named Peter Millian proposed an ordinance that would bring Easton, Pennsylvania into the current century. We are currently battling across the country conflicting laws, conflicting rules, and conflicting messages regarding cannabis use. To get with the times, they were trying to reduce the offense to make it so that people don't have to go to jail if they're caught with a small amount of cannabis. This made news all over the area, and it became a huge positive for the city of Easton. Out of the entire Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania, they were being credited with being the most progressive town because they brought this first. Well, it looks like history is going to be leaving them in the dust because the mayor and a couple of his buddies on council decided that they were going to put the kibosh in the whole thing and vote it down last night during council. We were there live, and here is the exclusive coverage of the argument between Peter Millian and the mayor about how the mayor's ideas are destructive for the town. It took them all of 10 minutes to completely unravel months worth of work, and it took them all of 10 minutes to vote down the rights of the people within the city of Easton. So I want you to take note when you watch this video which council members voted alongside the mayor and which ones should be replaced in the next election. Because if they're not serving the people, they don't deserve to be in their position. So without further ado, here is the video of the city council meeting, cut to just the portions about the ordinance regarding a reclassification of marijuana.
There's no correspondence. We'll go right down to finished business, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, we have bill number 9, which was introduced by Peter Milan on February 14, creating chapter 411, marijuana possession.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? I will be voting against this resolution, even though I'm supportive of decriminalization. On the advice of our solicitor, who says the state has to do this, I will concur with that at this time, but I will work to put pressure on our state legislature, as I promised Mr. Reedy I would do. And I do believe that this decriminalization, and just to let you know, I did follow up with Mr. Morganelli, and everything you reported tonight is accurate. But what the reason he told me is very honestly is because small amount of possession of marijuana is very low on his priority list because he has murders and rapes and drug dealers and everything else to worry about. So for that reason, and only that reason, I do agree with decriminalization. I just don't think this board has the authority to do that. Just like I don't think this board, I was told that I don't have the authority to pass a law that says you can't bring a gun into City Hall or that you have to have a licensed stolen gun ordinance. We're not allowed to do that either. So gun safety is paramount to me. Decriminalization of marijuana is right up there as well, but I will be voting no.
So, just to be clear on the solicitor's opinion on this, what is the, if this were to pass, what would be any liability for the city on this?
You have federal legislation which finds this to be a crime. So if you pass it, you could be subject to federal rules and regulations. My reading of it is that this is a state-authorized method of legislation for small amounts of marijuana. I don't think, at least at this point, that we have the authority to do that.
What, is the medical marijuana stuff?
Yeah, but that's passed by legislation, though. Wait, there is nothing currently pending that says that we, the city of Easton, have the authorization to decriminalize this.
Well, then I guess the question I'm going to repeat again is, how do the other municipalities do with it? Philadelphia, York, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Erie?
I think they took a leap of faith.
We're not the first ones doing it either. So, I mean, the discretion is still at the hands of the officer who's going to make the arrest, if he chooses the arrest.
And therein lies the crux of another problem.
Okay. They're doing it now, though, but just so we're all clear. They're doing it now.
I understand that. As your solicitor, I cannot give you that opinion. So I'm just telling you what I think is legal as far as the council is concerned. Now, you certainly can vote the way you feel. I mean, I'm just giving you my opinion as guidance.
Sure.
So you may vote obviously the way you want to. I'm not telling you to vote for or against it, but I'm just telling you my opinion. This is what I think is best for council.
And even with the blessing from the district attorney, you still have reservations about it?
Well, I'd like to see the blessing in writing.
I've asked him here 3 times. I mean, I'm not how much more I can ask for a blessing. I mean, I've asked him to come here 3 times. So, I mean, he's already said to the mayor, he said it to me personally. He's out in the media saying the same thing, so I'm not sure how much more we need from him to get blessed. But he won't intervene, he said, in local politics. He's just not going to get involved with us. And but he gave me a very clear point that he was fine with it. He had no problem with it. So.
No, I would just add, when I took this office, I took an oath to uphold state and federal laws, and with the opinion that the solicitor just gave us, I don't see how I can go against that oath. So I will also be voting no on this.
I'll be voting. Thank you. I'll be voting yes because although I'm in favor of decriminalization, my reading of this is that it's really a change of or a reduction of the penalty for getting caught with a small amount of marijuana, and it's not actually decriminalization. So I'll be voting yes on this.
As I stated in the beginning, when this first came up, my vote is going to be a no. And after listening to various people come to the podium and speak on it, has not changed my mind. And more so than anything, our solicitors are in place to protect the council. And as our solicitor told us this evening, that does not deter us from voting yes or no. So my vote will be a no still, as it stands from the beginning.
I would also add to my initial comments the selectivity that's in our current ordinance. That concerns me more than actually going against the state or federal law. I don't think the police officer should have the right to decide whether it's a criminal action or a civil action. I brought up the concerns I had about me being charged, let's say, civilly, and another person being charged criminally, because it's a different officer who doesn't agree with us. One way or the other, should be definite. Giving the flexibility, the flexibility right now is the officer doesn't have to arrest the person at all. But if he does, or he or she does arrest them, then it has to be at least a specific charge, not this flexibility where I get charged civilly and Mark gets charged criminally. I think that opens up Pandora's box to a whole lot of lawsuits, especially if it's a protected class that's charged criminally and a white male that's charged civilly. I think that just opens up to a lot of problems.
I will be voting in favor of this tonight. I believe right now that discretion that is used, they have the choice of either charging them with a criminal offense or telling them stop it out, don't be seen having any around here anymore. I don't see how it's any more of a Pandora's box if they were able to write a ticket and keep it out of the criminal rolls. So I would be voting in favor.
I'm in a dilemma right now. I talked to Mr. Morganelli on Wednesday evening, and he specifically told me that he has no problem with it, which I was very happy to hear. So at this point, I voted against the ordinance that you tried to put through, Mayor, on the guns.
No guns in the city hall.
Right. Well, right, because we felt that we weren't able to do that as a legislative body, that it was a state thing, and our solicitor told us specifically that we shouldn't be doing something to the effect that we have no control over. So at this point, I think I'm going to stand to that because I feel I trust my solicitors and I don't want to put anybody in harm's way in the city or, you know, of a federal lawsuit or anything to that effect. So I'm sorry to say.
But they're not gonna come in and bust us down for small amounts of marijuana. I mean, that's just, I mean, let's be frank, the feds are gonna come in here and start knocking us down for an ounce of weed. I mean, that's
I
preposterous.
understand what you're saying, but I want to be consistent.
That's fine too, but they're not consistent now, though. That's the argument.
Well, I was consistent with the gun ruling when it came.
No, but they're not consistent now.
It's a personal vote, and I think that we can still vote and have our
That's
own
fine.
arguments to it.
But the thing is that the arguments that you guys are making are just, the officers have discretion today. Whether they charge a guy with a blue suit on or a guy with a red suit on, it's up to their discretion. They do it today. It's not gonna change if this thing passes tonight, it's not gonna change.
That is true. They can charge me with speeding down the highway or they can let me go. But
Right.
the fact is, it's either or. It's not, well, I can charge you civilly, I can charge you criminally. That is where you start to break down the problems that you expose the city to for a lawsuit that says, oh, the protected class person, they were charged criminally, but this guy over here was only charged civilly. Why am I charged criminally? Is it something about the way I look, the way I act, my religion? What is it?
Yeah, but it's also education to the police department too. I mean, it's education. I mean, let's just get honest.
It's not even,
It's not gonna.
it's also education to the public. The public has to know that too, and feel comfortable with that, and I just don't see that.
Well, that's a different discussion.
If this was vetted, like it is with medical marijuana, I have no problem. But my problem, as I stated before, is what message are we sending out there? What message are we sending to our youth? That it's okay, as a body of leaders, we are to oppose this type of thing in our city now, or are we supposed to go by what the state and the federal government put in front of us as laws? And this is why this governing body has solicitors. They give us back the law and their reading of it to protect us. If we continue to go out there on our own, then we're setting ourselves up for lawsuits after lawsuits after lawsuits. So again, I employ council to think about it. It's your vote, but my vote again will be no.
I think you made the point clear. I just don't understand how Philadelphia did it 4 years ago and there's been no lawsuits.
Philadelphia is a city of the first class.
What does that?
It's also
how does
a
that,
county.
But how does that differ from us? You're still the same.
Taking a four square miles of a bigger county that says you can come here and smoke marijuana, but you can't do it in Wilson or Palmer or Forks or Bethlehem.
Same
Maybe
in
Bethlehem,
Philadelphia.
forget it.
No,
Philadelphia's a county.
So what? You can't go to Chester County and do it?
The county, once the city council made their ruling, the county courts have to interpret it that way and enforce it.
Right, the DA gave us the blessing. No, it's the same thing.
It's like-
It's the same
The
thing.
DA is not the judge.
It's a,
Listen,
the judges can't, they don't make laws.
you get Mr. Morganelli down here to tell me what he told me.
I asked him
in private.
3 times.
I know you did. I'm not doubting you, Peter. You know I know that. But my point is unless I know that I can gainfully or at least comfortably tell someone that you're going to be charged with a small amount of, you're going to get a traffic citation for X amount of dollars. And then someone up at the next level, the court level, the magistrate level, not one magistrate came to the forum either, even though they were invited, says, oh no, you got to be charged criminally. Now they change it to a criminal action when we've given people the comfort level that it's only going to be a traffic citation, a non-traffic citation. That's my concern. So it has to be uniform, at least throughout the county, let alone out
Well,
throughout the state.
Bethlehem's gonna pass it.
You don't know that.
I do
You
know for a
that one
fact.
person.
6 people told me.
Well,
So I guess if they're gonna pass it, then we'll just, I mean, that's fine with me. I'm not offended by this. Just, they're gonna pass it next month. They've already said it. They have a 6-0 votes.
And I spoke to their solicitor who told me he's very uncomfortable with that. So I'm speaking to my lawyer, and my lawyer's telling me that I can't do this. I take an oath to enforce the laws of the state and federal government and the state constitution and federal constitution. And so do our police officers. When I swear in our police officers, they are sworn to enforce first the federal laws, then the state laws, and then the city ordinances. That in that order, the oath goes. That's my concern, Mr. Milan. Believe me, I am all for decriminalization. I believe it's harmful to make it a crime. I really do. I don't want to ruin any person's life by having that on their record. However, the fight is at the state level. It's like pension reform. I get people all the time tell me, oh, you got to fix the pension, you got to fix the pension. I would love to fix our local pension problem, but it's out at the state level. And the state has chosen not to do anything with our mounting debt every year that we just keep pushing on to future generations. I'm agreeing with you. Now the state's doing all the preemption legislation. They're going to tell us that we can't have our DAS antennas go through city code, that they're going to let them put them up anywhere they want. And that's a preemption law that I don't agree with. So with the League of Cities, we're fighting that. We don't want preemption. We want to be able to have these, I don't want to walk outside my house one day and see an 80-foot pole with a small antenna on it. Even though I'm high-tech, and I agree that we need more technology, and with video going on all of our phones, we need a lot more antennas. I understand all that. But there should be a vetting that goes locally, not just the state saying, oh, we're going to wipe out all your laws and just let them put them anywhere they want. So I am not disagreeing with anything that was said tonight. I am just saying, for the record, I do not feel, based on the solicitor's opinion and my own inquiry into state law, that we as a body have the authority to do this. So I have to vote no.
I just would like to thank Councilmember Land for going through the trouble to bringing this to our attention and trying to bring this bill to our attention, and all the research that he did and the time that he tried to get the people down here to collaborate with him. However this vote goes down, I know we will all leave this table as friends, and we will be able to talk and feel friendly as we've always done in the past.
I guarantee we'll be revisiting this very shortly, I hope, with the state
And
legislature.
perhaps in the very near future, this can be brought up again when we have more references to go with and proceed with it.
Okay, call the question. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles.
No.
Mrs. Volcano.
No.
Mayor Panta.
No.
Mr. Brown.
No.
Mr. Ettinger.
Aye.
Mr. Milan.
Aye.
It's defeated 4-3.
Okay, at this point, we move on right on to new business.